Bibles, right? So this is the stuff you usually see me take to work. This is my King James, normal King James, New Testament, Old Testament. Most widely available, probably the cheapest copy you can get. Introduction into Orthodox, and then my little devotional. Then we move on to this, right? This was a gift I got. It's the King James Study Bible, and it's pretty detailed. It's got graphs, timelines, uh, sidebars, reference notes, imagery, and maps. So that's pretty cool, man. It's a more in-depth Bible. And then I forgot that I also have an Orthodox Study Bible, which is, I guess it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing because it's Orthodox. So it's got a lot of stuff, or it's got less stuff from the Western side of Christianity, but it has stuff that the King James isn't going to have, which is the Apocrypha, or what they call the Deuterocanonical books. And it also has the imagery of the Orthodox faith. A lot of beautiful art in here. And it's meant for non-Orthodox Christians and Orthodox Christians to have a really good study source for both the Old Testament and for the New Testament. It's still using the King James New Testament. So even if you're using the King James versions, they're still reliable, because even here in the Orthodox ones, it's still King James. Very beautiful stuff. So this is like basically just another stack of paper that I have to cross-reference those three, right? But then we move on to the Apocrypha, which is 54 books that were taken out of our King James Bible that most of us have access to, right? So these are all the books that were deemed, at some point or another, deemed not inspired by God or whatever, by their standards of the time. So we have a lot of stuff. Like, this is everything that was taken out of the New Testament, and this is everything that's been taken out of the Old Testament. The Deuterocanon, for both the Universal and specifically the Orthodox. And then this is the Pseudegrapha, where it's just like the lore and mythic stuff from Christianity, which is, again, stuff that they just discounted from the Bible. They're like, nope, we don't need the fairy tales in there. So this is really important stuff, because this is the stuff that to me is like where you start making these connections that you wouldn't find anywhere else. This is where this is where you're going to find the Book of Enoch, which again, the Book of Enoch, I was telling you, the writers of the New and Old Testament that we have now expect you to know these books as well. And then it's not enough, because then I have these two other books here, which this one is like the concordance. So basically any single word that is found within the Bible, or any word that you could think of, you can go and find exactly where in the Bible to find it, how many times it's quoted, where and how, and go to that verse specifically. Think of anything that you want to talk about or want to know about, and it'll tell you. Wow, I'm sorry about the quality of this video. I'm sorry it's all blurry, but yeah, it'll tell you where to go find it. And then again, I remembered how you told me that it's not enough, because our English is different from their English, from the Old English, and the Old English is different from the Greek and Latin translations, and those are different from the ancient Hebrew translation. So that's where you get to this. And so this will tell you basically what words meant then, mean now, and how they're used, versus what they mean now and where you could find them and how they're used in a specific verse and all this other stuff, which is just like, a mind melt. I don't know, maybe I'm explaining this wrong, right? But like you could see certain words, right, and where they're used and how they're used, and try to give you better context or a better understanding of how they're trying to use that word in that verse. So yeah, it's a bunch of fucking paper, but very, very uh, valuable knowledge, holy knowledge. Sorry, I called it fucking paper. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of weight here. I could probably work out just by lifting these things up. Anyways, and then I got this nice book on the Antichrist. Um, that's something we'll talk about later. But basically, um, everything we've seen as far as economy, globalization, world governments, and all that stuff, it's all just fulfillment of prophecy. And someone's been orchestrating it to happen. Anyways, I don't know, dude. It's a lot, and you're a critical thinker. So if you want to really approach this in the most critical manner, I don't know. I don't know if this is a bit of an overstretch. Mind you, I only bought this one. And then somehow these all started getting gifted to me, handed down to me. And well, here I am. And I think there's